Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, April 9th, 2026. How was everybody today? Um, I gotta admit, I was caught up. Um, when I hit the start button, I hit the ad for Twitch. Get that out of the way for the hour. Hello. And I was looking at some analytics on a new app that I have, um, called Athletic. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's right. I have to stream. So here we are. Um, it's been an interesting morning. Um, Subscribers don't see ads. Yeah, everybody should subscribe. Yeah, if you're on the Twitch side, and that's my little shameless self promotion here. If you have Amazon Prime, you are given, essentially, you have a free subscription that you can use every month to give to your favorite Twitch streamer, whether that be me or somebody else. I do encourage you to do it. I think you got to jump through a few hoops to do it, but it doesn't cost you anything, and you don't get those annoying ads that go off every hour. So anyway, there's that. I was going through the junk box this morning. Not really the junk box, the parts bin, to try to determine what was going to stay here and what wasn't. And the first round has been made. And in all of that, called a treasure chest instead. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. And in all of that, I still haven't found that stinking swan. I've contacted Judd and Mike and see if they're going to be in Chicago. I'm sure they are, because they live in Illinois, I think. So, but I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through the box again. You know, every day I think I'm just going to go look through this box and determine what I really want. I mean, some of these parts prints I have had for years. They're not worth anything to me. I just don't know. I just hate to give them up though, because if I give it up, it'll be like maybe I can figure out a way to fit this oversized no-name pen with a Yovo nib or something, and then that would be cool. But until that day, I don't know. And the funny thing is I got rid of an entire box. I got a whole bin of stuff. And I got rid of, I had pens and baggies and things. And I just got rid of the bags because the bags were old and dirty. And I put them all in, I have them all in plastic tubs. You've seen them. And so it's a little bit more neat and organized and easier to flip through. You don't have to go looking through bags and things. However, it looks like I have more stuff now. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on. Anyway. So that's a positive move anyway. I found a couple of interesting pencils. Some that are actually really super cute. Some super cute little short Morrison pencils that work. A really cute little one on a pin. It's got a little rose engraved on it, or a little flower, and then it's on a retractable chain. It's super cute. They're too good to throw in the treasure chest. So I think I might just polish them up and clean them up and photograph them, and maybe we'll do that. So, yes, I found the worst ballpoint ever that David wants for a reason that mostly escapes him. And I was a little confused at first because you said that is ugly. Please save it for me. Like. So yes, it is in a bag, actually in a bag with your 6668 nib. Your nib is actually in a bag inside a hard plastic tube, so nothing can happen to it. And I have it in a bag sitting over here with all your other stuff. That I'm afraid I'm not even going to tell you what it is because you may have forgotten that you asked me to save this for you because I don't want you to change your mind. This is my way of cleaning. I don't clean very often. Oh no. I don't clean very often, but once I've decided to let something go, I want it to go. I don't want it to stick around. And you know, just if I can get rid of a bag here or there, a bin here or there, I'm a little bit on the hoarder tendency side. But letting go of a few things that makes my life easier, and I'll never miss some of this stuff. It needs to go. So it's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. But I have a long list of things for you, of which several are going to be delicious. Which reminds me, there has been a request. And since I don't know if there's anybody else watching at the moment. Oh, Russell's here. Hey, Russell, how you doing? Russell, your package went out this morning. So thank you very much. You don't think you have anything for me? You have cash and pens. That's kind of what I'm hoping is going to happen. That's all I can ask for. And so, keep in mind, some of this stuff is for you is free that I have is free. I don't expect anything. I just have I literally had, I don't know how big these garbage cans are here, but when I moved, I literally filled an entire garbage can, and they're big. They're, I don't know, 4 feet across, maybe 3 feet for sure. I filled the entire thing with slaughter boxes. I had that many. I kept the good ones, threw those away. And then I still have more than I could ever use in my life. Yeah, it was insane. But what are you going to do with that? You know, I mean, I have pens I use the slaughter trays for pens that are like potential restoration candidates. And then everything else is kind of like in the bins because I don't want to have to go sort through the bins for complete pens. You know, like I've got a tray of Jade Dualfold Juniors that are all to some extent discolored. But they could be good users, but they don't belong in the parts bins. So those go in the trays, but I mean, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I mean, maybe 1,000 of them. I don't know. No joke. No, ask Lisa. I mean, we got to a point where I said, okay, I got to keep some because I can't fit any more in the garbage. And we knew there was a timeline of so many weeks before we were moving. And I hadn't gone through the garage, and I mean, I was throwing stuff away left and right. And, you know, Goodwill, there were Goodwill trips every day. But Goodwill doesn't take slaughter trays. They don't want that stuff, right? So, anyway. All right. What do we got cooking today? Let's take a look. We are going to be successful on this today. So, you distracted me. I don't think so. You mentioned a request. Oh, yes. 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 I have had a request. Lisa would like to do something for you, and I don't know how to do this and still make it a surprise, so I'm just gonna go there. She wants to make some baked goods for you because she can't be in Chicago and she can't join us. But she doesn't know exactly, you know, what things might trip your trigger. So, yeah. And as a fallback, she says, well, if I make it and you like it and he doesn't like it, then you can still eat it. But I would rather not do that. You're not picky. Okay. I'll have her reach out, or I'll reach out, or we'll do something. But she wants to make something for you. So looks like the night shift didn't get to doing anything on those pens. Oh yeah, that's right. Let me just toss that. Let me just toss that into can, and look at that. There is ink coming out of it already. Yeah, I'll have her reach out. She's busy today. She's got they've got a trunk show, and I never liked the term trunk show. Like, where's the trunk? And so she's picking out a new pair of frames today, and so every day I'm like, I mentioned this before. She gets, after like a year being employed for a year, she gets one pair of frames free every year, I guess, is how it works. And so she's getting up close to her 1 year mark, and she's going to buy another pair of frames. If it's a cool looking trunk, buy it used to store your junk pens or steal the trunk. Yeah. There's no trunk. There's just trays, and the trays wouldn't even work for pens. So she's like, well, why don't you come over? She's all excited. She says, why don't you come over and take a look at the glasses? Like, I like my glasses. I have 2 pairs of computer glasses. I've got a brand new pair of sunglasses. I've got prescription cycling glasses, glow in the dark frames. I picked out a really cool olive pair, and she wanted none of it. So I'm like, and then I picked out a pair that I kind of like. It's very similar to the ones I wear all day, not these, but they're just a little bit lighter. And then first she says, oh, I really like those. And then 10 minutes later, I put them back on, and she goes, no, not those. And then 3 minutes later, I put them back on, and she goes, oh, those are really nice. So I don't really know. You should go over, ask her for which one you should buy. I said, just write the name of this frame down. How about you do that? So it was kind of funny. So I didn't get to see, I did see kind of one that she was interested in, but I didn't think, there were just piles. I mean, I've never been to one of these before. There's piles and piles of trays full of frames, and it was really something else. So, subtle plug, if you're in the Appleton area, Fox Valley area, and you need some frames, today is a good day to go take a look at a ton of different frames. A lot more for women than there are for men, but there's some really nice ones for men too. So anyway, that's my push for the dock. All right, we have the UK Duofold. We got a snorkel. We're gonna have to realign this. I meant to do this yesterday, but you see all that? Look at that. And it's coming down here. You see this? I don't know if you can see this. There's a little tail. It's kind of coming down. You know what? I'm just going to throw this one in there too. I think this one was pretty clean. Well, we'll see what happens with those. And then we've got Vacumatics. So we got the 51, the 2 Canadians, and the this one here. Golden Web. Thank you. If you were close, you would be there. You need new glasses. Yeah, Doc's a great guy. So we got those guys. We're going to work on those. And then, if all goes well, if I don't stop talking here pretty soon, this is the next batch of pens. We got some snorkels, touchdowns, lever fillers. I don't know why these are still in the tray, other than probably I just didn't get to them. But we're going to tackle these guys next. But I want to start with these guys, get these guys done. This one in particular. Ooh. And for those interested in this month's Sailor Anchor Drop, I went to go order more pens today, and they're completely sold out. So I literally have one You need to run. All right. Good luck. I hope you buy everything. Um, I have one jellyfish left. I believe it's a medium nib in the blue. I believe it's the blue. So, great price. Let's. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I just got new glasses like 2 years ago, so just don't think it's incredibly necessary at this point. Yeah, this bar is a little bit botched up. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, once they get bent like this, they're really pretty useless. Let's see if this is going to work. Well, it seems like that should be long enough. Except this goes down that far. All right, we're going to cut it a little bit shorter. Now, the good news is it's not bending, so, you know. Actually, there's a little mark here where I always like to file it down so it's not sharp. Oh. There we go. That'll work. Set in the garbage. Let's move on to this guy. Wasp Walter A. Sheaffer Pen Company. kind of a lower level, but still decent quality. Okay. There's a little piece of something stuck in here. All right, should be lined up. Let's get it pulled out. It's a little bit too far out, too far in. I'm gonna pull it out. Spring is a little cattywampus here, but Sometimes if it doesn't work right, you can just flip it over. Try that. Sometimes it just works better the other way. Usually why I try to organize things in the tray the way they came off the pen. But this spring gave us troubles. When we put it on. Hey, Gabriel. Colin. There's all sorts of stuff going wrong here. Yeah, Colin, I tried to see if I could get another medium fine, but they were completely out. There's something just weird about this feed. It was cut wrong or something, but the dual vac that arrived yesterday turned out to be a Sheaffer Imperial Lifetime pen. That's quite a difference in. You ended up offering to buy it to avoid the hassle of returning it. Yeah. And the correct pen is on the way. Oh, for heaven's sakes. What is. Well, I will say I lost on my. That's still not right. I lost my eBay auction last night. So I hope one of you out there got the pen I was looking for. A desk set, actually. I was a little disappointed. I thought for sure there was no way anybody was going to bid on this thing. It was $50, 55 plus. Like $13 or $20 shipping. I had never seen that before where they gave you options, but so I was wondering how that was going to work if I won it. Like, especially since it was coming from Minneapolis, I thought, well, I'll take the cheapest shipping method. And somebody outbid me in the last couple of minutes. And I was a little upset, but it was right at, it was going to end up costing like $75 for this thing. It was a double dipless that I didn't actually have in my catalog, in my list. So I especially wanted it, and it was in the box, and it had the double X pens, and it had the 7000 series dipless nibs. I mean, it was really perfect. Was it worth me bidding an extra 5 or 10 or $15? Probably, absolutely. But Chicago Pen Show's coming up, and I got a couple things for my car I got to take care of. So it really wasn't the best timing. All right, that looks good. But I would like, there's no way. Who's going to buy this thing? Who's foolish enough? What year is my vet? 99. And I need to get a cell phone holder. Because the one that I have sits on the one of those ones that sits on the air vent. and it just, you know, it doesn't work very well. And on a particularly long drive, it has a tendency to, the phone will fall forward. Unfortunately, I like the quad lock cases. If you've ever used those, they're kind of nice. Um, but they're expensive as all get out. They kind of lock you into the, no pun intended, um, you know, into the system. And I've got a holder in my other car, but I don't want to take it down, so I got to get another one. You know, of course, they've got a new system out that's magnetic, which I really want, but then I'd have to change all my holders. I mean, it would end up costing like some ridiculous amount of money to get it for both cars, and then you got to get a new case. 150 bucks. I mean, I'm just not doing it. Just not doing it. Rob bidding, is that a new sniper program? I used to, when I was heavily into bidding on eBay, I used to use Auction Sniper or Auction Stealer. Auction Stealer. Oh, Robo bidding. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure that's what it was. Yeah. I'll get over it. It was a pretty perfect set though. Double dipless, beautiful white marble with black striations. And it was just, I'll get over it. Nice nib. That should have been 5208. Yeah. Hey, you know, in that case, I probably would have got it for an amount that I could afford. It's not the last one out there. All right. 51. Most stuff you just make your best bid and walk away. Yeah. If it would have been like any other month, I would have bid another 20 bucks or something, but that and, the my bike expenses for the week kind of chewed up any discretionary income that I may have had. There's some weird little warping to the barrel back here. What if we can't heat that up and .161 is very clean. All right, let's try the Canadian. Most of your bids are on odd Parker 45s. Always looking for weird stuff. Still looking for a real Matador bed. A little bit of softness to the nib, but it's not anything. Nothing extreme. Nice rider. We'll get another cup of water. I'll be right back. Cheers. Well, I dirtied it up right quick. Something doesn't seem right with this one. Right's nice, but all right. This looks like the smaller version. I think these came in, what, 2 sizes? Now, let's see what this name is. I can't remember what it says. It's really hard to see. Velma I. Harvey. A little bit of Let's see what the date code is. Interesting date code. It looks like dot 46, which is either 1936 fourth quarter or 1946 second quarter. There we go. One guy listed a Matador Red. You asked him if he'd guarantee it was Matador. He didn't respond. He just changed the listing to Red. Dropping the Matador. It's cool to use the hard to find color name until you have to guarantee it. Ignorance is bliss, as they say. I'm kind of happy having, as much as I like 45s, and I do wax rhapsodic about them quite often. I love that I have one. And it's orange with the stub nib. It's like the only one I need. Wow. Is the flow on this just really bad, or is it just really that broad? It's pretty broad. Well, it seems. I wonder if this is a long major. That's nuts. Yeah. It's completely different on this paper. 42nd. Oh, pencil date code. Unbelievable. What a difference that makes. All right. Spin these out. We'll seal up the Vax. That 51 I want to look at a little bit further. That emerald green is really pretty sweet. It ticks a lot of boxes. You're back. That doesn't sound good. That was quick. Didn't met your expectations. Okay. You could have walked, is what you're telling me. You did find pins. Cross, ballpoints, and chrome. All right. Sheaffer no nonsense calligraphy sets at a Parker Frontier. Sort of like the consolation prize, isn't it? It's the estate sale consolation prize. A no nonsense. And a Parker. I mean, Parker Frontier. I mean, you know. I don't know. I got nothing. For $2? Yeah, $2. I'd buy it. You thread the no nonsense for Estabrook. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. For $2, you kind of have to, I think. You bought a pen on eBay and they tossed you a no nonsense with your order? That's the way to do it. There's just something about this I don't like. I have to continue to remind myself that tomorrow is a... Oh, come on. Tomorrow is an estate sale morning. I'm not sure I'm going to be first in line only because I've got to drop, unless I'm really, really nice to Lisa, I have to drop Lisa off at work first on the east side and then go all the way over to the west side of town. Well, it's northwest, so it's not too bad, but trying to think. I got to double check. I don't think that this is the kind of place that they don't do a sign up the day before. It's an awful lot of work for like one pen. I'm going to trim that down just a little bit. Am I getting a few dozen of them at the right price? I mean, yeah. Oh, and so here's the interesting news. I just got an email from Judd, who I believe lives in Illinois. I'm not 100% certain, but I just got an email from him. He's not going to be at the Chicago show. So all of today's efforts were somewhat for naught. I don't really want to. He's like, well, if you think it's worth it, yeah. He says if you think it's worth it to send them to me, go ahead. And I'm like, ask if you made a triangle. I might go the Rob Bader route. We'll see. Judd's been good to me in the past, so yeah, I know. It'll probably be at DC, but now that I went through this trouble, and it wasn't a lot of trouble, but it was at least an hour of my time. I kind of wanted to get rid of this stuff. He's doing the raw show. You'll take it to him? Okay. I'll ask. Come on. Yeah, I'll send you the listing. Oh, I just looked a little bit long. I think I have birds nesting right outside my back door. I can hear them chirping. Red and ginger, yeah. I haven't seen any cardinals. We had a couple by our house last year. And I haven't seen them. This estate sale company that's running the sale tomorrow is the same one that I went to last year. That was discovered the sale was a block down the street from my daughter's house, and it's where I bought a Waterman. Was it a 12 or 14 sleeve filler? Or something ridiculous like $10 or something. Okay, that's better. Well, it's a good thing I found his business card and emailed Judd, because what a pain it would have been to be. I mean, this box is. If any of y'all who do shipping remember the awesome U.S. Postal Regional A box. It's actually perfect for storing parts pens. It's going to overflow one of those. And if I do it right, it'll probably be 2 of those. Because I think I'm just going to be... I mean, I have room to keep this stuff, so... I could just hang on to it, but... the chance of it actually ever getting used is so minimal. Of course, this year I had somebody email and ask if I could swap out a Schmidt nib unit, and I kept a bunch of crappy modern pens, and sure enough, I was able to find the correct nib for this guy. Happy as a clam. And I actually ended up trading the nib and the service work towards a Conklin Crescent. So I mean, it worked out. Well, that was highly specific and very, very modern. So that stuff I'm not really getting rid of. I was tempted to get rid of my oversized flat top with no clip, bad rusted steel nib, broken lever, and compass at the top of the cap. But then I thought, well, that's just too weird not to keep. And I really think I need to look into seeing if I can thread some of these crappy pens, and threading the vintage sections to fit a Yovo nib unit. I think that would be maybe really super seriously cool. Breathe some new life into some of these pens. But even that might be too much work. right. We'll check the caps, maybe. Let's do that. Don't want to forget that. Come on. Good afternoon, Indy. How are you? Well, we got a little bit of ink in this guy. Still on the top side of the planet. Guess it's a good thing. Yeah, you know, I always say if you wake up in the morning and there's no chalk line around your body, you're doing all right. Oh, I can't believe it's Thursday. Week is almost over. After we're done here, Lisa and I are heading to the bank. I'm taking a withdrawal out for towards my Chicago Pen Show fund. You're about to take a nap. Your mom always checked the obituary in the paper. She said if she's in there, she'd be back to bed. Nice. Make sure the funds go into bank envelope labeled desk sets. I really, I would love to post something on maybe one of the Facebook groups or something, but I'm not certain which is the best group to do it in. You know, because everybody's like, oh, well, you know, I've got that at home. Well, you know, looking for Parker 51 desk pens. You know, desk sets. I guess I could post it in all of them, but you know, some of those groups are not Very vintage savvy. I need to come home with at least one desk set in Chicago. Get an envelope with you labeled desk sets when you go to the bank, record leases. You need to come home with no display cases. You play your cards right, you could be coming home with some Esterbrook display cases. Maybe I need to, depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Maybe I need to get rid of some of mine. You don't have an Esterbrook case. I'm tempted. I'm tempted if you come. I have a place I would take you. But it's very weird. Weird. It might be the weirdest. It might be one of the weirdest things you've ever done. I don't know. Um, if you can make it. Of course, I don't know when you'd ever get up here again, so it would be worth the slight distraction to do it, I suppose. All right, we got that cooking. That snorkel is good to go. We're still blowing a little ink out of there. I'll move it over to a different corner this time, see what happens. All right, let's see. It's those guys. This guy I don't think is ever coming open. I guess we could try it. I'm going to use this one, though, because tell you what, I was so happy a number of years ago when um who was it? Todd's friend. Who was Todd? He came across. He had a stash of these original rods for this particular tool. Not like there's a ton of these tools around, but he had some. And I had broken mine because it was this hollow tube. So I needed one. And I just couldn't believe it. Well, what if this is stripped? Goes about halfway and then it just won't go. I don't think that's enough, but I don't think this thing is moving anyway, so. There we go. All right. Before I do this, take my ring off. Watch it just come out easy peasy. Sort of like that Esterbrook nib. I just literally swished it in water and twisted it out like I had just put it in. Nope. It's cemented in there. In fact, I just twisted the celluloid. Well, I don't know what they used, but that's it for this guy. It's always the stinking ones that have perfect transparency. Yeah, it just twisted. And this had been soaking and soaking and soaking and soaking and soaking. I put naphtha down there. So the good news is I got a decent cap. I didn't see if I can get the section off. I guess I should see if I have a... I think the section comes off at least. Yeah, I might have a barrel too. I don't know. I mean, it's the easiest Vacuumatic part to find. Easiest Vacuumatic barrel to find for sure. But if they use the same thing that they used on the filling unit to glue it in on the section, oh, look at that. See, now why didn't they just do that? It would have been so much easier. But no. I really miss Rob Lot selling parts. We'll deal with that some other day. I'm not going to go look for it now. I want to get these other ones started. Oh, that's a nice nib. Oh, it's Canadian too. Wow. Is it possible to mod a vintage button filler to a converter? Not really. I mean, the problem you have is you'd have to modify some kind of nipple that a converter would fit on. And typically on a button filler, well, the barrels are typically threaded. You wouldn't seal it then. You wouldn't have a pressure bar in there, so it wouldn't be too big of a deal. But yeah, you would have to make a modification to put a you could cement a converter into. Yeah, I guess you could do that. You know, like this is a button filler, so we'd have to find a converter. I guess if you're going to cement it, it doesn't matter what kind you put in there. Boy, it's weird. I don't think I even have a... It's a sailor. Well, let's take this just for giggles. I mean, that's a sailor. It's pretty short. Although in this case, you probably could... Well, that would look weird. I mean, if you took the button out, you might be able to get this to stick out the side of the end of the button. But it'd have to be a near perfect fit. I mean, maybe not impossible with button fillers. You know, oftentimes the feed is pushed back, and so it's flush with the end of the section nipple, which means there's nowhere. I mean, I guess you'd have to cut it off, maybe short. And then your converter would have to fit inside the end of the section. So here's a section here. This is in backwards. So this is what your typical... The right one. Let me just double check here. Okay, so this isn't the right section, but typically, or the right feed, but typically the feed is pushed all the way back to that point. Your button mechanism has detached. I mean, it's entirely fixable. I don't see why it wouldn't be fixable. I mean, there's zillions and zillions of parts out there for lucky curves. So you would have to... Yeah, this is probably the right feed. It's tight. What do you mean by it's detached? It's probably what happened is your pressure bar is broken or it's sprung, and so you're not getting any tension on it. But I mean, if there's one pen I have parts for, it's Lucky Curves. And just to reassure you, hang on. Yeah, no tension. Yeah, so it's actually it's your pressure bar. This is my dual fold, all my Lucky Curve button filler parts, sections. I mean, and that's not all of them. There are more. I have trays and trays and trays of this stuff. And I mean, you know, and every one of these has a button in it, pretty much. This bag is like, these are projects that like someday, if I can make these pens, I'll keep them, but the rest of them, not so much. But yeah, if you've got no tension, then all you need is a pressure bar. If you've got a good sack, it's literally a $5 part, and I make them. Well, I don't make them, but I have them made for me. I literally just threw one away 10 minutes ago. Hard finding anything in my garbage can, but yeah, they're if it's a junior, that's what you need is a 66. You might need to modify it a little bit, but I mean, here's a bag of 20 of them. So 66 pressure bar, not J bar, is what you need. And if you're not comfortable with it, just send me an email and I can help you with the repair. But if you haven't had the sack checked or the sack replaced, you probably should consider looking at that. But oh, look at that! Little label on there. But yeah, I mean, I guess anything's possible. I mean, if you wanted to, maybe that's what I had to do with all these junk pens, is convert them, put converters in them, because they would have. Most of them are like oversized, so they would have bigger sections. Okay, now you got me thinking. I got to think of how to monetize all this crap. So you got to cut this. You have to cut that feed. Is there a converter that's going to fit in there with that modification? There's a good old Parker converter right there. If it's in that section, I don't know what pen this is for. You'd cut off about that much of the feed. I bet that would work. The end of the converter sticking out of the blanket. Yeah, that would be fun. You know, sort of like, you know, Delta does that. You know, it's cool to talk about it in theory, but I mean, let's be honest. I don't have time for that. I mean, that was my realization with the lathe. Like, I'm sitting down with my buddy Hugh, who makes all the Canalea stuff. You could try that modification on the Sheaffer section you have for me. Yeah, yeah. No, how about not? How about not on that one? And my buddy Hugh, he makes all the Kanalea pens, and he's like, you really have time for this? It was like, kind of a, yeah, that's a good point. Well, this is a funky looking nib. Why does this nib look different? It looks huge on this pen. It's not a TM. It's got to be. I mean, I guess it's fat. My only concern now is that you can see this shrinkage right here, which usually means it's going to totally suck. I guess I usually, when I see first year touchdowns, I don't see them as open nibs. Where did I get that pen? This pen is, oof. It has seen better days. Oh, well, this is going to go straight in the Forticell plastic on those. Yeah, it's very thin. I guess I didn't see this huge crack that you can see from space. Artemis can see this, for heaven's sakes. Is this nib shot too? Oh my god. Canadian, eh? It's not too bad. I don't really see an issue with that. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, they put like it cracked, so they just put some tape in there to kind of seal it up. Nib is springy, but it's trick of the light. Yeah, nib is springy, but it's, I don't know if it's worth saving or not. It's supposed to suck. Suck ink, yeah. Dip the barrel in Flex Seal. Slap a piece of tape on there. JB Weld. Hey, Jason. My dad used to love that stuff. Like, that's the solution for everything. JB Weld. Little JB. I don't know why I'm screwing with this. Hmm. It is quite flexible, actually. All right, well, enough monkeying around with that. That doesn't get us anywhere today. Maybe there's a secret message in here. It's literally just a piece of paper. It's not even tape. Use some pretty washi tape. Call it custom. I have some cool washi tape, actually. A crescent wrench, yeah. All right, well. Throw that to the side. This one looks ugly too, but I'm wondering what this piece of tape is here. All sorts of crap in the threads, but the threads are okay. I don't know. Yeah, threads are a little wonky. But let's see what happens. This one looks luscious. Gold tube, yeah, baby. Except I can't. There we go. Good spring. What does the imprint on the Canadian nib say? Sheaffer's made in Canada, 14K 585. Good looking nib though, huh? It says, eh? That's brutal. That's brutal. I like it though. Correct first year nib too. Extra suggestion: you contact the penguin for identifying a pelican. He responded to your email in 10 minutes. It appears the pen was a hybrid. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, they're good eggs over there. Burgundy looks nice, huh? I like these color match sections. Okay, we need some heat. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know why I had some of these sitting around for so long. I just guess I just never got to them. My fingers are dirty, so I'm going to use a section pliers to see if I can unscrew this barrel, so I don't want to get the sticker dirty. Well, so much for that. Nib says, eh? Oh. Come on. There we go. And the one oddball in the group. I think we're going to get as far as disassembly today, and that's about it. I don't want to start soaking things because I got, I got a half an hour. Hey. On weekend plans, or do we need to wait for the podcast to hear about them? I don't have any plans right now. Guess it depends on how Lisa feels. I think she had alluded to the fact that she didn't really want to go do too much antiquing because that money is, would come out of the Chicago budget. But hopefully we'll get a walk back in. Watching Roubaix on Sunday, yeah, I think it is on. I think it's on HBO Max. And I honestly, I don't know is, you know, is Gary, is Pogacar racing this year? Yeah, assuming he is. Yeah, he hasn't won it yet, so you know. It was close last year, but you know, as they say, it doesn't count. Although I could watch Vanderpool win it for like what, 3 out of the last 4 years or however many years he's won it what, twice now. Yeah, there's definitely some saddle time in the works. Try to break in the new saddle. I'm not 100% certain yet whether or not it's I like it or not. So I can definitely see why some people spend thousands of dollars buying all sorts of different saddles to try to figure out which one works. Eight wins in a row? No. Really? No, not for Vanderpool. Really? It can't be. Are you pulling my leg? Has he really won it that many times? I gotta look it up. You won the last three. That's what I thought. I thought it was at least the last two. I couldn't remember. We got another closet cyclist in the chat. All right, let's see. Oh, I see. He's won 7 races in a row. That would make his 8. Okay, I get it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. So who won before him? Dylan Van Barla. Yeah. Sonny Colbert. I don't know. It's Sonny in 2021. Philippe Gilbert. Sagan. Yeah, he's pretty much dominated, hasn't he? Cancellara got good 3 in there. Tom Bonin got 3. 4. Bonin got 4. All right, well. Yeah, Vanderpool's fun to watch, isn't he? He's like inspiring for anybody who's not a 5'8", 120-pound, like nothing. Stewie O'Grady won, yeah. It's like, what? I mean, I know Vanderpool's got like, what, 7 gravel championships in a row or something crazy like that. He does have like, or 7 to his name. Or cyclocross, something like that. I don't know, I tried watching cyclocross last year. I just can't get into it. Yeah, he's got a big engine. So yeah, other than that, I don't really, unless Lisa says, "Hey, let's go do whatever." She did grocery shopping last weekend, so that excitement has been taken care of. Oh, I know what we are doing. We are doing something. Um, we're going up to Green Bay at some point this weekend to get a look at the park my daughter wants to get married at. So we're going to do that probably. We might actually do that tomorrow. We just need to get an idea of how everything is set up and. You, my daughter, and I laugh. We're getting her bike out of the shed, and you say another closet cyclist in the group. Look at that. It looks like it's got graphite on it or something. Yeah, it's got graphite on it. I see it on my fingers. Yeah, the cycling talk will increase closer we get to July. Especially once Giro comes. That's a good idea. Actually, I have some pictures I need framed to be able. Go and get some frames for them. Get those hung up. The last time Lisa checked my bank balance, she saw that I had purchased from a particular company that I like to buy uh, cycling ephemera from. And she's like, "Oh, you got yourself some new pictures, didn't you?" Like, you're not supposed to check my bank balance. That it was on sale. I had a 25% coupon. How was I not supposed to buy that? Come on. It would have cost me money if I didn't get it. And so I have to confess, I was confiding in my friend David. I'm like, I should I get this? Do I need to get this? Why, I had a 25% off coupon. It was still a little bit more than I wanted to pay, but I'm like, I kind of need this particular item. Hand signed by the, autographed by the 1931 and 34 Tour de France winner. And I have a lot of ephemera from the 1934 Tour de France, original photographs, so I sort of needed to have it. But I was being cheap. Frugal. Come on. Well, that came out. They have that sale a couple times a year, so. Oh, brother, doesn't want to come out. There we go. I used to, if the snorkel tube comes out, I used to go in with um, a threaded device and pull it out. Except the problem is I don't like doing that anymore because it just makes problems later on with there being too big of a gap in the snorkel for the snorkel tube. Well, the good news is everything came out clean. A couple minutes yet. Let's see if we can. Yeah, if we're going to Green Bay, there has to be at least one antique store. There's a couple. There's not a lot, unfortunately. There used to be this good, pretty decent. It's kind of a jewelry and pawn kind of place. But then they got this new building and black screw. They use black screws in Canada, or is that just really? It's just really a weird place now. It's filled with lots of jewelry and guns and Invicta watches. I mean, it's just there's usually a couple of like ever sharp mechanical pencils in there, but you know, I need those like I need a hole in the head. There used to be an okay 2-floor mall, but then that closed. I actually I'm not. I don't know what happened to it, but it's not there anymore. I think Lisa's just worried I'm going to find all sorts of great stuff and then not have any money for the show because there's not a lot of time to turn around anything I buy. I mean, there is, but got to restore it, photograph it, edit it. Get it up on the site. Promote it. Oops. Trim ring. There's no way to turn around. I mean, you know, they're so huge. You'd have to like. Every once in a while, they have a cool vintage watch, but I make it sound like work. What? Fixing the pens and selling them? I mean, you know, I've had worse jobs, that's for sure, but some days you do. I mean, we're not in this to make money, that's for sure, or make a lot of money. This is a quality of life job, is what this is. All right, well, but yeah, they have a ridiculously huge Invicta watch display. It's funny. Actually, if I do go, and I usually go because you never know what they might have. I'll take a picture of it for you. I have found a few cool Esterbrook things in Green Bay. I've once found a really cool Esterbrook salesman's case. Um, they're highly unusual. It's got a cool flap to protect the pens, and I have an Invicta watch here that I will give to you if you can wear it for the entire Chicago show free. Hey, well, if it's a vintage Invicta, and by vintage I mean what was it, 1940s? Then we're talking. Those are really sharp. I almost fell off my chair when I discovered that Invicta actually used to make beautiful watches. Yeah, not so much. No, not so much. I don't know if it was a revival thing, or was it just somebody bought the company and then they changed course to be a pseudo fashion brand. And if y'all think I'm joking and you don't know, you got to look. They're stunning. And it's just that. Pop these out and I think I'm done. Yeah, triple date watches. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I saw. Like, I'll take that all day long. And maybe even more so because it is an Invicta, right? Hey, what are you wearing on your watch? Yeah, I got an Invicta. Oh yeah, I got one of them too. No, you don't. All right. That actually is probably one of the. Look at that pile. Isn't that something? One of the nicest, easiest. I won't say easy, but yeah, easiest disassemblies of. They made a copy of the Gruen Curvex. Oh, I've always wanted a Curvex. I had a chance to get one back in the late '90s, and I was a dumb kid, But this is a good place to start on Monday, huh? They're completely disassembled, so we can soak. New gaskets. You had a chance to get one too? That's stupid. I had, yeah, look at that lineup. Isn't that nice? I had a chance to get solid gold case. Oh, that's even better. What was the Hamilton Pacer, which was the gold-filled version of the Ventura? Is that correct? Did I have that correct? In working condition, I had a chance to get one of those. I used to go to this. I lived in this tiny, tiny town in upstate New York. If you ever get to upstate New York, it's a little bit southwest of Rochester. And in the summer, apparently, I didn't live there long enough to actually hit the summer. I moved in the winter and I moved out in the spring. But in the summer, apparently, there well known for Corn on the Cob Festival. Okay. And anyway, I moved there, and I discovered there was a jewelry store in town, and everything in this town was small. Grocery store had like 2 checkout lanes, maybe 3, 2 or 3, yeah, no more than that. Everything was small. Everybody knew everybody. They knew, if you walked in and you didn't pay your movie rental fee because you returned it late, then they knew, hey, Brian, how you doing? But I went to this jeweler and he had watches. He had vintage watches, and I think I bought a couple from them, not much. But I would go there on like Saturday mornings, and I'd come in and he'd go, hey, Brian, how you doing? Do you want some coffee? I'm going to go get some coffee. And then he would, I'd be in his shop. He would leave the shop, go down the street, get some coffee while I'm in his store. I'm the only one there. And then he'd come back and bring me coffee, and we would shoot the shit for, an hour. And then I would not buy anything. I mean, I think I bought one watch, maybe 2 watches, but yeah, he had a Hamilton Pacer, and I wanted to buy it. And then I came in one week. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to buy that Pacer. Nah, too bad. I sold it last week or yesterday or something. So anyway, if you ever go to upstate New York, it's a cool little town. It's got a Civil War memorial in the middle of it. It's pretty cool little place. So anyway. All right, well, this is where we're going to start on Monday. Tomorrow we're going to do podcast. 1:30 Central, like normal. Yeah, have a great night, David. Monday, you should be having 2 Sheaffers, 1 being a vintage desk set, another one. Holy cow! And maybe Saturday you're gonna get the jellyfish. I didn't even look. Yeah, so that's cool. That's quick from some guy in Wisconsin. Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow podcast 1:30, and we'll go from there. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna get cleaned up and on my way out of here. Have a good rest of your evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we'll see you next time. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks.